Next generation meteorologist Joe Shaka here, taking a look at our 2022 Atlantic hurricane season. This is the third time today I've been trying to record this. There's been some issue, and I hope the issue is not present when I upload this to YouTube, being the issue was the video was great, but there was no audio, so no one could really hear what I was saying. But anyway, let's take a look here at what's going on here for the hurricane season video here in the Outlook. I've done a couple things a little differently. There's been some private research and studies and, hypotheses that are been done and are still being done by various people in the field about cool maze and the following hurricane season. And I decided to take a stab at that myself to do some more testing and see how strong this relationship actually is. So we're going to attack this from ENSO and cool maze in the United States. And I think you're going to find it quite interesting. So here is the Oceanic Nino Index, and you can see here this tells us where we've been in an El Nino, we've been in a La Nina, or we've been neutral, which is we have not really been in either or. So that is what this chart here indicates. And obviously El Ninos are indicated by the red years, the neutral have been indicated by the black, and then of course the La Ninas have been indicated by the blue years. But these are still, you could say, 09, 10 is a neutral warm. But overall, they don't really call it a very, I guess, it's up around the strong, but it's not a super El Nino or super Nino, or you could say a super Nina, but you can overall see the indications from this chart. And of course, so the last few years, we've been in the La Nina on the more in the moderate and sometimes strong, but certainly in the weak to moderate category of La Nina. Now, however, just because you have some warming in the Pacific and you're called on a weak, if not even moderate El Nino, doesn't mean you can't have a busy hurricane season, and it doesn't mean there won't be impacts to mainland. So we'll check that out here. So here's the CFSV2 for El Nino 3.4. You can see pretty much for the remainder of the calendar year, and especially for the peak of the hurricane season, June, July, August through September, October, November, we are between -1 and -1.5 degrees Kelvin below normal. So you can see here in the ensemble mean is just about probably 3/4 of a degree Kelvin below normal through pretty much the peak of the season. So this is very, very impressive to see this 1/2 degree Kelvin, 3/4 degree Kelvin below normal. So this is really, really impressive to see. The climate model, and no, just not the CFS. We have the Euro, we have the JMA seasonal, we have the Canadian model, climate modeling, all showing the same kind of theme here in ENSO. So that's a really interesting feature to look at. So this could very likely be a third year dip in the La Nina territory. But anyway, moving on from there, you can see my analog years that I'm using for cool maze in the United States. Years 2004, 2005, 2006, 2008, 2016 to 2021. You can see overall those maze were cooler than normal for much of the United States, especially the Northeast and Great Lakes relative to average. Now, here's the JMA. Ooh, what do we have here? Cooler than normal. Interesting. Look at that, huh? The European Weekly is very similar to this, by the way, as well. So I consider this a very interesting look. Look at that. Wow. And the greatest anomalies. Oh, what do we have here? Over the Northeast, over the Great Lakes and upper Midwest. Kind of the same kind of thing, a little bit focused a little further east here, but overall the same idea with widespread cool across the United States for the month of May. Now, cool maze. What do those hurricane seasons look like? All right, here's 2004. It was in that analog package. 2004, 2005, 2008, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2021. All of those years were cooler than normal maze in the United States, and here's the hurricane season that followed. Look at that. We'll go through it one more time. 2021, high impact. 2020, high impact. 2019, a little bit of a lower impact, but we had Hurricane Dorian here, which got very close to Florida and did impact the Carolinas. And then I forget what the name of this one was, but briefly, we had a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. But again, 2019 looked like that. 2018, we had Florence in there, and we had Hurricane Michael in October. 2017, 2016, Matthew was in there, and I forget what the other ones, but you can see the clustering off the southeast coast. 2008, 2005, and 2004. Again, all those years were cooler than normal Mays in the United States. So I think that pretty much speaks for itself right there. So let's get back here. There's 2020, there's 2021. And then coming up here with my numbers, you can see here, this is the latest forecast that I issued actually just today, my updated version. I kept the name storms the same, but yeah, and you'll see here I have the forecast that I issued back in late February, but you can see my latest forecast, 17 to 21 named storms, 4 to 7 hurricanes, 2 to 4 major hurricanes, and an ace of 110 to 130 accumulated cyclone energy. And then here's my forecast I issued back in February. Same thing, I just lowered the numbers of hurricanes and majors and lowered the ace. And I did that because the MDR is cooler than normal, and the climate modeling suggests they will remain cooler than normal. So that could certainly be an inhibitor for storms to develop in the MDR and become long track. Doesn't mean we can't have them, but instead of maybe 3 long track hurricanes, maybe we only have 2, or they're weaker, they're not as strong for as long. It keeps the ace down. And of course, in close development, trying to figure that out, months in advance is always a challenge. But I think I have a good footing here again with the overall impact. Again, you can see the change there. I brought my numbers down just a tad from that February forecast. So we'll see how things go down the road. But certainly, it's always good to be prepared, no matter if it's going to be an above active season, an average season, or a below average season. It's always good to be prepared for the hurricane season, no matter what the season has in store. That's it for now, and thank you for watching.